Kavan, greetings, brave souls, and welcome to Star Trek Adventures Broken Sword. This is our Season 2 finale, and this is the last session of that finale, so it's it's going to be quite a night here, but before we get things started, I just have a couple things to bring up. First and foremost, this mostly concerns you in the livestream audience, anyone who might be following our Star Trek Adventures Aegis game. Contrary to the usual update, it is going to air its final session coming up, but we are pushing back one day for that, so it will actually run on Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's 6 to 9 Greenwich Mean Time for anyone that's in a European time zone, which if you are up quite late for this. But yes, because of the things that we have to get to today, we won't be going quite as extensively with the shoutouts for our players, but their links will remain in the description of the video here, so you are more than welcome to check them out. I will take a moment, though, to let our good friend Joe, the OverlandGamer, make a note about the Fallout for Hope charity, which is hitting very close to a very strong milestone. Joe, you want to take a quick mention of that?
Yeah, the Fallout for Hope St. Jude Children's Research Hospital charity has been going on since November, and it'll go run till the end of the month, and we are at 46,222 as of recording this. Our goal is 50,000. So we're doing some really amazing stuff for the kids over there at St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, the kids and the families and stuff. So I shared a link in the chat if people are interested in donating. That's where you can go to donate. Otherwise, support your local children's hospital, especially around this time because all the kids need it. So appreciate it.
Indeed, indeed. And yes, if you're in the giving spirit, if you are of means, then it is a very worthy cause. So I would definitely recommend that. All right. So with that, let's get into it, everyone. We're going to start with a recap. And that takes us to the current adventure the Jan has been on. Really one that has been in the background for some time. The hunt for its missing Kazin crew member, Woe. After being kidnapped on a port planet called Zethlor, the crew has been desperately seeking her location and has only just recently, after several months of searching, been able to determine a lead. They followed that to a freighter that was making some off-the-books deliveries. After wrecking the freighter and capturing its captain, they were, with the doctor's aid and with a very unconventional mix of a sort of proto-telepathic spore or some fungal type life form, was able to extract that the captain has basically they had dropped off supplies to an outpost in the Azure Nebula, a great stellar nursery near the northern fringes of the Klingon Empire, in an anti-spinward sort of location, and very near the Triangle region of space. The Jan arrived at the outpost, finding it was indeed there, and it was unoccupied. Apparently, the crew of the Dead Ringer, an older style surveying bird of prey that appears to have been heavily upgraded by Woe's kidnappers. Apparently use this as a spot where they retrofit and drop off items, but don't actually keep a living presence. As such, you were able to infiltrate with great ease and have uncovered some very disturbing but useful items. For one, the captain has learned of the ship's name, the Dead Ringer, and has come to understand at least some tactical information pertinent to it. Even more troubling, though, the doctor managed to find an old face hidden in a stasis pod. An Aaron Sen woman named Li Wan, who had been on an agricultural planet that you had visited, but had learned in subsequent weeks had apparently been virtually annihilated, or had been heavily bombarded. Nothing was known about the exact nature of the attack or who was responsible until now, it seems. But with this rare bit of advantage, with weapons prepared, and with access to the station's refit system, you think that you actually have an edge. You are finally ahead of the curve, and you are planning an ambush. This made all the more urgent by the fact that Kressik's seeming injections have imbued him with sufficient telepathic finesse to where he is picking up Woe. And she has said that they are close now. So, as the rest of the ship prepares for its mission here, there is an important order of business. Specifically, where we start in the medbay. Kressik, you have been tending to the stasis pod and activating its activating the sequence to disengage the stasis function so that you could release the captive Aaron Sun woman. Not least of which because there is someone who very urgently wished to see her. The doors will open to your sickbay as you are working on this process, and in walks Traven Lex.
I ran as fast as I could. How is she?
Stable. I am bringing her out of stasis currently. It is a process, but made easier because she is not in physiological distress.
I can't believe they nabbed her.
It is very troubling.
At least she's not a slave anymore. I would watch out. She might punch you if she wakes up. She's really hot-headed.
It's fine. I can take worse.
Kressik, the startup sequence is sufficiently intuitive to where you find yourself very easily able to activate the sequence. That's practically speaking, there's no need for you to do anything in order to actually affect. It is not so complicated as to even warrant a task. So
delightful.
She will. Let's see. The pod will begin to hum as the system processes the request to let her to awaken her. Within a few moments of letting the system cycle, there's an indicator sound that shows the pod has finished its sequence, and it cranks open. Would I be correct to presume, would you have propped it or perhaps laid it back in order to have it be flat? Or
yeah,
Okay.
Like tilted back.
Yeah, basically so she won't fall forward.
Exactly.
Necessarily. Yes. So the pod will open up, and after a few moments, her face initially seeming somewhat placid, but bearing some signs of marks of bruising that you can make out even against the pattern of her Aransen, like the skin features that come with her as an Aransen. You can notice some signs of abrasions and other old injuries that were not healed in proper fashion. The face will begin to contract a little bit. Her eyebrows will furl, and her breathing momentarily becomes just a little bit quicker. And with that, her eyes strain open.
Eyes opening's a good sign, right?
Yes.
I will note, thanks to Craig, our own Lieutenant Commander Eula Shira from the Aegis game, you have actually been granted a point of momentum.
Yay.
Yay.
So that should be a total of 5 points.
Thank you.
Craig, you're the best.
The literal best.
She looks and she starts to look around. You can imagine, Doctor, that depending on how delicately the stasis sequence was initiated, Leiwan might have a little bit of. Well, she might not have the easiest time focusing or seeing things. So she looks around and, like, after a moment of seeming to expect something unpleasant, it looks like, or kind of being a little bit rigid. Oop. The Aransen
Character
woman.
sheet.
Yep. Meant to stick it in bio and information for the photo purposes, but apparently it did other things. She finally makes eye contact with you, Cressing.
The one.
Doctor?
Yes.
What? Where? How?
I would like to ask the same thing. You are aboard our ship. We found you in a cargo facility.
Is Straven? Is he alright?
Traven?
I am way more fine than I was 2 days ago, that's for sure.
She looks
Really great to see you.
She looks kind of out in your direction, but is still having trouble focusing. She tries to lean forward a little bit too, but definitely looks a bit wobbly, Doctor.
Try not to move too quickly. You are still coming out of stasis.
My legs work. I'll walk over to you.
I can't. I just can't believe that you're back. That I didn't think I was gonna see you again.
Doctor, how new are those wounds on her face?
GM, how new are those wounds on her face?
Give me an insight and medicine.
Oh, yay, insight.
Unless you want to pull out the scanner, and then I will
No.
let you reason.
No. I'm gonna do this.
I'll set the...
A focus applies, I would imagine.
Yes, certainly. I am going to say that the difficulty on this task is 2.
Okay. We good, fam. We good.
That you are. That is 3 successes, which will earn you back a point of momentum. Joe, are you the one holding the momentum?
I am, but Roll20 is not loading for me at the moment, so I'm trying to fix it.
Okay. While we're waiting, would somebody else like to hold the momentum just so that we have a clear track?
I'll hold it. How much?
Very good. I'm going to deal you out. I think you are actually at 6 right now with that success.
Yes.
Thought we were at 20.
You can only be at 6.
Let's see here. So, let me move you up closer there, Traven. So, Doctor, from what you can make out as you get a closer look at the Iron Sun woman, Leiwan's wounds seem like, relative to the point that she was put into stasis, you would guess that these were maybe a couple weeks old. In some cases, there might be a few bruises that seem a little more recent. You're actually picking up, though, a more immediate sort of concern, which is some wincing and actual signs of like unusual abrasions or markings, kind of any point where the clothing line meets her, meets exposed flesh, and even signs of some discoloration and otherwise unusual tissue damage. This stasis pod might have been essentially either wielded in a clumsy fashion or done so in a deliberately callous way so as to essentially inflict its own sort of separate injury. Basically, Leiwan is suffering from an equivalent of freezer burn, if you will.
Gotcha. New enough. Luan, what happened? Why are you here?
I don't understand myself. But I remember it started. It was one night. I was trying to get a message out to you, and we're broadcasting back on Gleeden 2. We came under attack. There's just explosions everywhere. Pulses. The guard wasn't set in a proper position. Many of them were killed or wounded. I barely made it out of the main comms center when the relay was knocked out. I remember I made it back to the main house. Somebody needed to get some word to Votosh, but he was already trying to ready. He was trying to reach out to any Kurath ship to try and make it back, but nobody was close enough, or nobody responded. We never had any help. Then they stormed the manor. It's a mix of true, but they were led by Kazinti. That much I remember. It's a tall, fierce, blue one, eyes blazing with hatred. I didn't get everything you said, but I heard the sounds. Oh God. You, they tortured Votosh. They went for hours into the night. Did the same to every Klingon in the manor, every administrator, anyone who served in the house. They didn't spare us, but they weren't inflicting pain. They were asking questions. They weren't asking. I think they were asking about that other Kazin. You had one traveling with you, didn't you?
Had. Yes. She was taken from us.
They must have gotten her. I'm sorry. Doctor, I hate to be in trouble, but you wouldn't happen to have some clean water, would you?
Of course. I always carry clean water. He goes to get some.
Okay. Well, I'll actually use this here for a moment. But while the doctor's away, Traven, do you want a moment to engage with Li Wan yourself?
Oh, yeah. I am so sorry that I left you there.
Yeah. That wasn't your choice. That was mine. I'll admit, I was angry with you back at the time. Maybe I should have taken you up on that offer. Ow.
They're going to pay the one. I promise.
I'm glad at least you're alive, but I don't know about that. I didn't see the things they did down on Glen. Don't know how ruthless these people are.
I may not. But I do know one thing. You were our friend. Woe was our friend. And when this whole crew comes together, we can do some pretty extraordinary things. And right now, they've pissed off everybody. They will not get away with this. Even if I had to tear them apart by the molecule.
I She kind of struggles for a moment, trying to find her words. I don't You'll forgive me, Traven. I'm having a little difficulty, even after all this time, and grateful as I am. For some reason, I'm having trouble imagining you being the vengeful warrior type. You had some adventures. You had some adventures while while you were away.
I've died twice.
That is not funny.
It is not, but I have died twice. And I've seen Grethor too.
She froze her eyes this time more in confusion.
Get you up on it later. But for now, the doctor needs to treat you. And I need to make you some food. Some good food.
You don't happen to have any of those really nice fruits that the old lord would import?
We
The
have
kinda spicy sweet
some
ones.
fruit. We have some fruits. Do I know which ones those are?
You have an idea of it, and you might even have one.
Let me see what I can find.
Before you do, maybe just stick around for a little bit, Traven.
Stay here as long as you need.
While this is going on, Doctor, you've gone to a dispenser in order to replenish the water. Basically, make sure that you have what you need. You find yourself with the water in hand, with the dispenser set, and as you turn, you realize the room is much smaller. Much more dimly lit. It is not your medical bay.
This again.
Let's see. Let's take things into the room. But provided, I guess I should ask, Ray, would you be able to do stuff here?
I am. I am driving, but I am.
Very good. On the, it is a small room with various implements. It's a smaller, simple compartment. It's not that dissimilar to some of the supply closets that you might have used, but it's obviously been emptied, Doctor. In this case, you see there have been some installations for chains and other material of the sort, but it is also occupied. In this particular case, you see sitting before you a familiar face, a friend, one long suffering. Woe appears seated, gazing down, signs of bruising and maybe even streaks of dried blood, as she seems to have suffered a bit at her captor. Another tall Kazin, much as Li Wan described, man with a brilliant blue and light colors among the fur, with a cruel look and thick mane. His a vest festooned with weapons, and I would probably guess at this point holding some sort of weapon type implement of some sort. Ray, what would Fel and Woe be? What would Fel be saying to Woe at this time, or how would things be going here?
So he's got one hand in the top of her mane, like on the top of her head. It is very tightly gripped, and around the tip of his fingers there is blood dripping down into her fur. And he's leaning toward her ear directly. I thought I made it very clear. You were not to speak when no one is listening. I heard you talking again. Who are you talking to now? I was talking to no one. I was talking to myself. I was talking to no one. That's right, you're no one. Very good. And he released the grip on her hair, walks around to face her again. You're beginning to learn. I'm impressed. Now, when we get back to base, you are going to sit quietly right next to us, my buddy with the news. He looks over his shoulder. No!
In walking through the door is a Kresic, what you recognize to be a Suliban gentleman. Not nearly as large or buff as the as either of the Kzinti, but relative to others in fair shape. Also seeming to bear a fair number of battle scars, including an eye patch over his head. Yes, sir.
How soon can we expect to be at base?
Engine room reports that we should be able to hold a steady course and be there within a few hours' time.
He circles back around. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I'll let you do your bit before he interjects with a detail he really ought not to interject with.
Okay. He nods, circles back around Woe, and grips her shoulders, leaning forward over her. It is a display of dominance, and she shrinks in response, makes herself smaller. She can see Krestic in the room, and her eyes flick to him, as if addressing him without addressing him.
Whoa.
Mm.
You are not allowed to talk to me. Identify the people in this room. If you can.
Fel begins to talk. As soon as we are at base. Yes, Fel, as soon as we're at base. He immediately latches down and bites the side of her throat aggressively hard. I told you to be quiet!
Sir, before we... you don't need me here for this blood sport, and I should tell you Keg is continues to be concerned about the ventral disruptor coil. We have not been able to contain the... as you requested, he says, holding up a data slate of some sort. There are still concerns that a energy discharge from the coil or any damage to it could overload the power grid.
Fel stands to his full height, wiping his mouth with the sides of his hand, almost like delicately, like you would if you had a handkerchief, but he does not have one. Before addressing Null, tell me, do you always give status reports of prisoners? Especially prisoners with psychic connections? Or is this one just special?
He seems a little bit...
You always express weakness of ours to those that are our enemies. Is that what we do here? And with that, he walks towards kind of crowding Null into the corner.
Null ceases to say anything. He, too, shrinks back a bit. Kresik, you gather this Fel's command style hinges quite a bit on the intimidation and threats of physical violence, and no shortage of physical violence.
Not entirely unfamiliar with seeing that before. He's going to take this Oh yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Sorry, go ahead. You're good.
He's just going to take this opportunity. He gets really close, gets down, kneels down at Woe's level. His hands almost shoot to a dermal regenerator, but he realizes that's not going to do any good. And he just very softly, we have found the base of operations. We are preparing a trap for them. We are coming for you. Whatever you can do to stay safe, do that.
Hang on. She slow blinks at Kresik, and it's very much a acknowledgement and a sign of trust before she says, "You're so scary, Phil. You're so fucking scary. Why don't you scare him some more? That always works, doesn't it?" Oh, why don't you pump him full of stimulants like you always do? That ought to keep him going. She's saying this looking at Kresik and directing it to Fel at the same time. She's very talented like that. And with that, Fel lunges and kicks her so hard in the head that you are immediately, you lose the connection with her.
Doctor, you find yourself back in sickbay holding the... You find yourself in sickbay holding the glass of water.
Kresik takes a moment. Straightens up as best he can. Kind of brushes his coat off. Then walks over. The clean water, as you requested. But first, he sets it down on a table nearby. We should get you out of that pod.
Yeah, I'm sure even one of your bio beds here is probably more comfortable than this. As she,
Yes, they were very Klingon at first, but I have added 2 microns of padding. It's the most that the captain would let me add.
As she reaches out kind of for either Traven or Kresik, or possibly both of you, whomever wants to give her some support as her legs are super wobbly. 2 microns? Sounds luxurious.
For a Klingon, it is torture, from what I hear. I've never much cared.
Well, the 2 of you help her, and she is dislodged from that. And well, is any bed open, or have you got a preference?
You aren't in need of emergency medical care, so we should leave the center bed open. Any of the others, my medical facilities are at your disposal.
Appreciate it, she says, reaching out for the water.
Now, I know that it may be difficult to recount, but he pulls out his book and opens it up. If there is anything you can tell me about this Kzin and his crew's torture methods, it would prove most useful.
I'm going to do one roll to check on Li Wan's composure in this situation. I think that I'm going to drop a point of threat on that just to increase the complication range.
Can I assist by motivating her?
You may try, but the complication range is also increased for you.
Fair enough.
Okay. It'll be control command for her. Yes, you can try to be a reassuring presence with presence plus command, Traven.
1 second, sorry, my roll 20's loading slow.
Quite all right.
Should
I can send some stuff to you here, Rev. Like it's kind of bog. A lot of it will be bog standard sort of stuff.
Yeah, it's not entirely necessary. It's more. I feel like this is probably a good spot to potentially close out the scene.
Yep.
And then he's looking for anything unique, medically unique.
What did you say my attributes were again? I'm sorry.
Presence plus command.
Okay, whenever I will use my advisor talent, if that's okay. Whenever I assist another character using my command discipline, the character assisted may reroll 1d20.
Okay.
We get 2 successes already, so that's good.
Yeah.
May I use my conversation focus?
Sure.
You said complication range was 3?
2.
2. Okay. God.
Oh.
Sorry. It's the same.
Yeah, no, all fine here. Yeah, I think that there's going to be a rough moment where it looks as though she is very hesitant about thinking going back to that place, but it even might necessarily not be words so much as the squeeze of a hand, Traven, that helps you reassure her. And with a few words shared among friends, she steals her resolve and thus allows you guys the chance to get some information. We'll use this chance to move to the next scene and take ourselves up to the bridge, where Captain Isaac, Lord Tabok, you, and, well, I've brought Raldar up here just for the sake of, you might want to be present for staff meetings to get a bit of time and get a bit of time to talk about, like, any final measures you want to take.
Understandable.
Yes. So this would be a chance, since we talked about a lot of this plan off stream. If you guys want to take a chance to do the expository, here's what we're doing, then now is a good chance.
So, when they arrive, the ship will be hidden. We will strike from cover. Betty will be our first salvo. Once they make connection to the base, she will download herself onto their ship and disrupt as much of it as she possibly can. I then wanted to transport a good number of the good doctor's sleep gas canisters on board to different locations. And then we will beam over. If anybody manages to hide themselves from the gas, I want the transporter to nab them and throw them into space. Does anybody else have anything they wish to add?
Are you sure we can trust this Betty for such a task?
Absolutely.
As you continue to converse, the door will open and the doctor will step in. But
They're ventral disruptor banks.
What about them?
There's a weakness with them. There is a coolant leak, I believe they said.
They said?
Yes.
Was this another
The ship.
connection? Was this another connection with Woe?
Yes. I received a conversation. I was present for a conversation. Their eventual disruptors are a potential weak spot.
Good to know. Thank you, Doctor. Are your canisters prepared?
They are ready.
And we simply have to beam them over and transmit the activation signal.
Correct. Also, I have the name of their captain. Do not know if that will be handy, but he is a Kazin named Fel.
I don't care what his name is. He's going to die. But thank you, Doctor. Again, are there any other voices, any other thoughts, any other wishes?
Who's going to be running the transport? Is it? I'm assuming it's going to be from the cargo bay.
For the poison gas?
Yeah.
Probably.
I might be able to set a remote control system, or if preferable, I could go down to the cargo bay.
You are good with transporters?
I can work systems. I am not so good as DuPont.
Tabok's upper lip does a little weird snarl twitch. Yeah, understood. Well, if you can handle that, then he can get us on board the ship.
Yeah.
Without having to leave his station.
A voice calling out from the other side. Father, I might be able to handle cargo transporters. I have studied the systems on the planet before, and back home on Mektor, and we did have the occasional cargo freighter that stopped by. I could engage that.
And then I will give you that chance, child. This is your first battle. I will give you that honor.
She nods and
Vopri will be at your side to assist, but it will be your duty.
Okay, I will help. It may I will coordinate with Traven. He should probably take sensors while I am away. At least that would be my humble suggestion.
And it is a good suggestion, Vopri.
Vopri still shrinks just very slightly, but it's more of the I don't know how to process a compliment from a Klingon.
I have given that man a lot of compliments since,
And he still shrinks every time.
He still does.
Tabok
trusts Vopri with his life.
Vopri is just persistently small beans.
That's okay. Poor little dude.
Yeah. Yep.
And Tabok, sir, I'm assuming you'll be on the boarding party.
Absolutely.
Okay.
We can beam over 6 at a time. So with me, I would like Hammock and Dar. Raldar, would you prefer to stay here, or would you prefer to sheathe your claws in blood?
Oh, you know how I thirst for my own battle, Commander.
Me, Raldar, Dar, Hammock, and Zional will go with me. I assume, Doctor, you wish to stay here for the initial assault?
No.
Because they can, both of my eyebrows go up. Excuse me?
I will be joining this assault. Taylock, Captain.
Color me surprised, Doctor. As you wish.
Also, I know that your Klingon code of honor is strict. My own code of ethics that I follow is equally strict. But if you would be so kind as to look the other way today.
Doctor. Today the rules don't apply.
Understood.
Do you all understand that?
Oh, the rules have never really been an issue on my end, but, of course, my lord.
They don't deserve honorable death and honorable combat. They simply deserve to be exterminated. Do you all understand this? He looks at
By
everybody on the
any-
bridge, or whichever. Yeah, we're all on the bridge, right? Right.
By any
He looks at
means
everybody
necessary,
right in the
sir?
face when he says this.
By any means necessary, sir?
Kill them all. And I don't care how.
Just don't kill us along with them.
Good point, Doctor.
Vopri, are you ready to kill some Kazin?
He shrinks. He begins to. Let's see here. Vopri is now very small.
Very small.
Very.
I don't handle weapons. Oh.
Give him the child disruptor, the child-sized disruptor that they keep in here. You never know, he might need it.
Okay. I guess.
I'm going to agree with the Doctor, Vopri. You should stay armed. You aren't coming with us. That doesn't mean they won't try to come here.
That is not reassuring.
It's not my job to reassure you. Get a gun and be ready. Anyone else have anything to add?
The small one can rest assured that he will not fall so long as I am by his side. tO'wi rejoins.
Good. They will be here soon, and we are prepared. Today we get vengeance.
I start singing a warrior battle chant to try to.
That one?
Yeah, pretty much.
A steady choir builds up, which I would I would at least imagine Ezek and Tabak would join in. Hemok probably knows the words, so likely would Raldar. I'll guess tO'wi would likewise have some of that. So that's a good number of the ship beginning to, or the bridge crew beginning to join in song.
I think last time Zionol just like mouthed along to it, but I feel like at this point he's probably learned the words.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Because it goes back to pack.
If the comm lines are open, you'll hear DuPont from the transporter room start singing along with it.
yep.
I think
He's-
it'd be hilarious if Beaupre started to sing to give us a little soprano counterpoint.
Hello.
No. I looked down on my green line. God damn.
That will never not be funny, and I will never not engage you with that if
Acknowledge
it
it.
happens. Yes, exactly.
It's delightful.
I literally looked before I started talking to the cat, and it's oh, God damn it.
Somebody on Twitch clip that.
Oh. Let's see here. Yeah. So let's see. With all of that, well, I'll ask as so. First, I will say I've seen that message. I will ask: does anybody want to say anything immediately in this scene, or have a character physically drop into the scene here?
I'm good.
I'm
On
good.
a
I think I
pa-
said
on a-
everything I needed.
As the song is going on a pad, or at a computer console, probably next to Beaupre, I want to pull up the layout of the location we're going. Kind of get a layout of flight destinations and paths through it or
Yeah.
around it.
Basically, so just for establishing purposes, you'll be in a different position when it gets back to this, but you are in orbit around an asteroid outpost. There are a couple of them. They are great rocks in space that if you hug them, you could basically use it to shield you from sensors. And the general look of things, Azek, is that just to spare it, we'll say basically you go to the other side of the rock. You stay within like a kilometer or two of the surface, and when you detect that sign of like you'll know to ready yourself when you get signs of the telltale gravimetric distortion that shows a ship dropping out of warp. From there, you are going to have one of two choices. You will, I'll say that they will, from where they're going to arrive, you're basically going to be at, effectively, they're going to be a few zones away, so you will either need to use thrusters to get yourself into torpedo range, which if Betty's able to mess with their shields and everything, then that could seriously open up a vulnerability. Alternatively, you can use impulse and hit them with disruptors, which is an easier thing. But impulse, like disruptors, would consume power, so that's a question of preference there. If it helps, I can get a battle grid going here.
In this timeline, do we have pattern enhancers by chance?
You do.
Our
it could be rigged.
transporter technology is better than the Federation's at this. Actually,
Would it
I
be
don't think so. We're actually on
possible?
par with the Federation at this point.
Yeah, I'd say that you have very good tactical capability for your transporters, so it's like it's used to trying to penetrate through some chop, though not all interference. And there should probably be an enhancer pack that Raldar, at the very least, would be in a fit state to carry around.
This might require a spend for asking this question, and I'm perfectly fine with doing that if necessary. Would it be possible to load? This is an old trick that DuPont and I tried. Would it be possible to load one of the pattern enhancers onto, say, a torpedo, the first torpedo, and send that out the moment we get into the system, so that way it is able to extend our transporter range as we approach to try to get the away team there faster.
I see what you're going for. I would only see like a couple of problems. The first one being the pattern enhancers are meant to be like a very close support sort of thing. So it's like you want a few of them very close together, and combined they broadcast out a signal that allows you to engage the transporter beam or get a good target lock on someone. The second issue would be if you mount it on a torpedo and you fire it at the ship, then it's going to be annihilated when the antimatter and matter react. So,
Okay.
to say nothing of survivability.
We need time to build something like that. So no biggie.
Yeah.
As an alternative, Joe, we do still there were still a few hours before they arrived, so we could have used the sensors on the station that they're going to be docking at to basically do like a triangulate, like piggyback off of the station sensors as well to help us pinpoint accuracy a bit better.
Okay.
Their shields are going to be down, obviously,
Exactly,
because of Betty. So yeah, she's going to mess them up pretty bad.
All right. I'll go down and talk to if we've got time. I'll go down and talk to DuPont about this idea to make sure that he's on board.
Okay, yeah. I'll say that if you guys would like to just make it a flat advantage that you purchase that like would reduce the difficulty of a transporter task.
I think that's good.
Yeah,
I think
something
that's great.
that basically if you can't beam into a pad directly, or just something that would reduce the difficulty by 1 for that task. And I would take 2 momentum for that in order to affect this.
Seems like a good use for momentum, especially because we're capped right now.
Yep.
And transporters are inherently fickle.
Yep.
Which is weird.
Yep. Let's see. One other thing. Either Joe or Raldar, whichever one of you wants to keep holding momentum, acknowledge that now. The other, I will ask to drop everything.
Go ahead, Raldar. My Roll20 has been extremely slow tonight, so.
I see.
Okay. I'll tell you what. I'll just take all of the momentum here real quick, and I'll give you back the 4, Raldar, and then let's see. Let me recall. And then so you have the transporter triangulation advantage. And let me deal back out the 4 for you, Raldar. Oh, you're already drawing things good. Okay. Are there any other last-minute advantages that you guys want to look at? I will say that Betty's scramble will just be an advantage here.
No, I think we have that. We got that. We have the ventral disruptor advantage, and we have Betty Crocker surprise, and
the Betty Davis
transporters.
Betty Davis.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Betty Crocker's final surprise. And then transporters. I think those are good advantages.
And we still have the 2 thermobaric torpedoes. Well, bombs.
Yes,
Yep.
but that we don't want to launch those while Woe's alive.
Well, no,
in the ship.
no, we don't. But those are also ready in the cargo bay to go where I want them to go.
Fair.
Good.
All right. So, yeah, that's...
Tavok, one last question.
Uh-huh.
This is out of morbid curiosity, if something should happen to me, who's next in command?
I will burn that bridge when I get to it.
Fair enough.
Nope.
I mean, who did you select for your first officer?
I can't, Azek kind of looks kind of puzzled because he's not entirely sure
Well, you guys put it up. Well,
who the other Azek picked as captain or as first mate. So he doesn't quite know.
Yeah.
Okay.
To be fair, I don't know who original Azek picked us.
Lord.
I
Anyway,
think
so yeah.
it was going to be Raldar, but that's what I seem to recall. But
Blind leading the blind here.
it was probably Vopri,
Oh no.
the most qualified member of the crew.
I genuinely thought it was going to be Vopri. Like, that wasn't even a question to me.
I think it's voted Vopri.
Oh Lord. Captain
As much
Vopri.
respect as Azek has for Vopri and the rest of the crew has for him, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, but I don't think anybody here would take orders from Vopri.
I don't think Vopri would give orders to anybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that I think is the biggest stumbling block for the situation.
Yeah.
His command skill isn't high enough.
Does it exist? Yeah. Is it higher than 2?
Asking the real questions here. It's not.
It's not. Yeah.
It's not. It's not higher than 1.
Oh dear. You can have zeros?
Because it is 1.
No.
No, it's not higher than 1. Because
It is.
one.
It is equal
It is
to
1.
1.
Okay.
Yeah. No, believe it or not, life of brutal slavery in the Klingon Empire has not instilled command aspirations or training in this man.
That is understandable.
Fake it till you make it, baby.
Huh?
Fake it till you make it, baby.
Oh no, I have imposter syndrome. Oh. Oh, it feels good to laugh, doesn't it, everyone?
Yeah.
Don't say that right now.
I love
Oh,
laughing. It makes me so happy.
Yes, we're all happy and joyous to go into combat. Yep, there's some serious foreshadowing going on. Thanks.
Yeah. All right. As a final note, let's see. I will ask beforehand now, because there are 2 things. One will be a little task that will help bolster the rest of you. But before that happens, is there any special equipment you guys would like to bring along?
Do we have to pay again for the disruptor rifles and grenades?
I kind of feel like it's been long enough that this is an escalation, and like you've made yourself clear on that in no certain terms. It is
Is the stun stick I made require an escalation?
You know, I don't think it is. Although it is calibrated for DAR, so that's a definite maybe.
It's still set to non-lethal.
For DAR.
Yeah, these are Kazin. They have padding.
That is actually a good point.
Fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, that's probably fine. But the disruptor rifles, the swords, well, that is to say the abatleth, and rifles would be an escalation still, I think.
Then yeah, we're gonna need them. We're gonna need our full armory.
Yeah, right.
I'll bring the broken sword.
Hey, the broken sword!
Hey,
hey.
that's
I mean, if you all didn't see that months ago.
Yeah.
Honestly.
that's it's as close as we have to air horns, so I'm gonna play it.
What, the groan?
No, well, kind of, but more of the alert signal I was playing in Roll20.
Ah, okay.
Kressik's gonna bring his full, like, he has his whole bandolier of medical equipment, all of his, neuroparalytics and stimulants and hypos of dilivine and
And I'm assuming, of course,
anesthetine.
we have breathers too, right? Because the gas isn't going to go away.
Yes.
If we just beam over there, we're all going to take naps.
Yes.
Do we have to pay for those too?
I will not have you pay for naps.
No, not the naps. The not naps.
The rebreathers. Yes, let's just... I'll say, in this situation, I think that the rebreathers... The rebreathers I will allow as a... I'll allow for that just as a free little thing. But the... let's see. Just double checking on any opportunity cost or anything of the sort. Let's see here. Looking over equipment. I think that Kressik's medical set should be fine.
And he has his big old 6-shooter injector pistol that he carries around with him for important business.
Yeah.
Don't worry about what's in the cartridges.
I'll wait to worry until things start getting lethal.
Yeah.
Okay. I will tell you what. If you guys want transporter enhancers, if you did want to follow up on that possibility, that will cost you a point of momentum as opportunity cost. It looks like the weapons do technically count for 1, which I'll just group as 1 additional momentum. So that'll grant you all for the remaining 2. That'll get you the resources that you requested.
So we're going to go into combat with no momentum handy.
You will have 2 momentum. And actually, you will have a little more than that because Traven has been preparing a meal and using the role as chef. We'll spare the scene here, only going for any things that Traven wants to add as flair or that he wants to mention. But as a chef aboard a Klingon ship, he does get to present an advantage of sorts. I think it's generally more making sure that you retain momentum from scene to scene. In this situation, I think I'll just allow some sort of bonus here. Double checking the info on this here. Also, apologies if anyone is picking up the dog that appears to be downstairs and has... that did coincide with one.
I like the Targ background.
Yes.
Let's slip the Targs of War.
Yeah.
That's about where we are at this point. Okay. I'm looking for the chef role, but my book is... My digital book is presently freezing up.
It's some number of challenge dice you're supposed to roll. I know that.
Yes. I'll tell you what. We'll just make it the... I'll just give Traven the opportunity to cook a fine meal, and we'll call it a control plus command. Or no, we'll make it science here. Getting a little experimental with ways to bolster things. Or I'll let you choose between that or command Traven, so that you can decide whether you are going more for flair in this situation, or if you are going for as nutritious a meal as possible.
I think I'm going to go with nutritious. I want everybody healthy.
Okay.
Wow. Someone's last meal and they get a salad.
Would this be something that the better I do, the better the outcome?
Basically, I am going to, in the absence of this working properly and without having it up in front of me exactly, I will probably just give you a control plus, or no, basically give you a task and treat it as creating an advantage. Really just a chance to earn some more momentum ahead of things and bolster the crew.
Then I would like to invoke a value
Go right ahead. What would that value be?
for honor and glory.
That is a good time to use that value.
Definitely gonna go with the 2 auto crits because it's cool.
All right.
And then, what's the complication range?
This should just be 1. I have no plans of upsetting your upsetting this. Okay. All right, so that is 3 successes, and let's see. All right, here it is. I actually did find the chef's roll, and I will allow this just as a bonus. Traven, you may roll either a single challenge die in order to, and the total of that roll will also get added to the momentum pool on top of that, or if the captain wants to allow the blood wine to be broken out, you may roll 3 challenge dice. But I do add a point of threat for every effect rolled if the blood wine is broken out, to reflect overindulgence.
Permission to break it out, Captain?
That would be an ASIC or a Tabok question.
Admiral?
Lord is sufficient. No.
I like that.
No. We'll save that for victory.
I'm just gonna slide in the Ractigino.
All right. So, Traven, roll me a single challenge die. That will give you 1 bonus momentum. So that will earn you, that is 2 points that goes into the pool then. So that will take you to a total of 4.
Yay!
All right. Everyone
Okay, we can
ready?
get more. We can get more.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I mean 4 is good. 4 is actually pretty good.
Yep. I hope you are all ready for this then.
So ready.
Yeah. All right. And I'm going to go use this opportunity to just go ahead and trigger the ad that's about to start, so that when we get back, we can come back to this. All right. And all right, ad is in progress. It's going to basically give us a minute 30 break to reset. So I will start us on the bridge. But yes, as a reminder, sequence will go. You guys get the way the sequence will go. We'll start on the bridge. Azek will be well, you will be here. I guess a member of the flying circus will man tactical, whilst everyone else is prepared for beam-in. You have the choice as far as whether you want to take the ship to torpedo versus what's its face? Torpedo versus disruptor range, basically.
I think I would rather just go to disruptor range because the torpedoes have a better chance of blowing the whole damn ship up.
All right, Traven, would you be comfortable at sensors?
Absolutely.
All right.
And then Dar is also gone, right?
Dar is also going on the mission. Yes.
Yep. That's the initial transport. Remember, you only go 6 at a time. Then, of course, anybody else who wants to come, including all the flying circus, they
Save
can
for
all come in
one.
too.
Save for one person who is currently at tactical.
Correct.
All right. So, guys, I think we're ready to begin. Hours.
It is a good day to die.
For them.
It's definitely finale time. I'll say that much. Hours elapse, in which time you the Yon prepares. There's a small feast to fortify everyone to help build camaraderie. The Yon is taken into a position where it hides amongst the rocks, and for a time, Azek, you and the rest of the crew face the relative quiet that always comes before a battle, particularly before an ambush. With some time and with the absence of that delightful little fellow Vopri being replaced here by the chef, it's there's little means of passing the time at a certain point, so you simply have to wait. That wait, yes. You are, however, at least rewarded for your for the waiting time, as eventually a console on Traven's console will beep as signs of gravimetric distortions from outside the nebula.
Gravimetric distortions outside the nebula, Captain.
All right. Crew prepare. We're getting batten down the hatches and going in.
Alert klaxon is sounded throughout the ship. All around, crew are on standby. The next step is going to be as the bird of prey closes to range and attempts to link up with the station. Through this, that same alert klaxon will sound in the transporter room, where the away team, both Gorn, Dr. Kresick, and the engineer Raldar, the quartermaster Zional, Lord Tabok, Dar, who I guess is also a Gorn, but just a special case. He's being a polite boy right now. And Chemok all stand at the ready.
All armed to the teeth.
Most definitely.
Some of us more literally armed to the teeth than others.
Yep.
And by that, I mean the Klingons. I'm just kidding.
Everyone remember your battle bling.
Battle bling.
This episode is brought to you by Battle Bling. Are you tired of your pearly whites not being so pearly or white? Does the blood of your enemies leave a foul patina on those fine chompers?
One Klingon one Gorn doctor agrees. The remaining doctors are dead. They were killed by the first doctor. Okay.
He knows a thing about battle.
All right. So, with that, we'll move things back up to the bridge of the Yon. Traven, from the command console, you start getting a signal set on a scrambler frequency. Betty is acknowledging that the dead ringer is attempting to uplink with the station, and she is prepared, at the expenditure of your 2 momentum, to open or to begin her hack.
Begin.
Okay.
She walks up in Davis's body, or she's already there in Davis's body. She nods and she says, "Sweetheart, there's casserole in the oven," and then she uploads.
Alright. As the upload begins, you drop 2 points of momentum, and I will drop 2 points of threat to introduce a trait. With that, a few anxious moments begin across as Betty uplinks and begins processing her way through. You find through the uplink, Betty, whereas you've managed to get things relatively simple, going from, say, Davis or even the Yon, though the Yon was a bit complicated when you were in the doghouse Tabak basically constructed for you. Something about this feels harsh. It feels cramped. Something about it is like just. It is much less intuitive. It's like something wonky going on with the computer system as you go through the data stream here. You're not sure whether the station is posing an issue or it's something with the ship, but the upload is not nearly as smooth, and you'll find yourself grasping out to find the key systems to disrupt. Not a lot of them are it feels easier to get lost or like redirected in some way as you try to find your way through.
Oh, good gracious, I don't like this at all. Dude. And, is there a way to roll to kind of find what I'm looking for?
I think that with the advantage in play, I can give you the option. Let me take a quick roll here. Have this set just along a simple D6 here. Okay, sending to you now. You can get word back through the scrambler frequency or using Davis to get word to the Yon securely and quietly.
Can you hear me, sweet pea?
The comm line the comm line signals to you, Traven. You have that, and you can get things connected for Azek.
Connecting to Azek now.
I am currently scrambling sensors. Okay?
Bossman, that does mean they might still have shield up and weapon charged, but they could not see us if we do that. Then, do we go?
I'd say we keep going, in slowly.
Okay. It's still the impulse roll and bring us to disruptor range.
That's what Tabak ordered.
Yes, boss. All right. If somebody can open up the ship sheet, Nogri is going to whip around the asteroid with a daring and con roll, a difficulty of 1, assisted by the ship's engines plus con.
All right.
Which he succeeds at. The ship will generate some extra momentum here, and will also it will also expend a point of power.
All right.
Oh, 2 successes.
Oh, nice.
Woo!
So that
The ship finally helped.
Yep, that adds to a total of 3. So the ship will. All right. So, yeah, with that. With that, the Yan is going to whip around the asteroid, staying within mere kilometers of this. Nogri is not the best pilot, but he has picked up some appreciable skill, and he's a little more used to rock hopping at the very least, thus giving you the ideal position as you come round and see the dead ringer. The Tuyuk-class bird of prey, though an old ship still, edges you out very slightly in terms of how recently it was built. And it outscales you as well. Your only advantage being that your size does make you smaller to hit. But you have the added advantage that right now, they don't see you.
Yeah. I don't know. Do we have the open comm line going?
Captain's discretion.
It's always open comm line in the Yan.
Pretty much, yeah. Well, it's also
It's
so
screaming
small.
distance.
Yeah, it's screaming distance.
But if we scream too loud, they might hear us.
What is this, World War II?
Uh-huh.
So, which submarine movie are we doing again? I forget.
Balance of Terror?
Yo, somewhere.
Periscope down.
Yeah.
I do not have a tattoo where Kelsey Grammer's has his tattoo. Anyway, moving on.
All right. Yeah. So with
Disruptors
that,
are better close up, correct?
correct, and you have been moved into close range where you can now target them at like with impulse. You can target them with disruptors at standard difficulty. If you are targeting the ventral weapon system, I am going to increase the difficulty by 1.
They don't even have their shields up right now, do they? You
They
don't normally run around with your shields up.
normally not, but I think that with sensors malfunctioning, they would probably have set those active. Also, this is a marauding vessel, so they are probably more inclined to that sort of thing. You can always take a shot.
Can always shoot and find out.
Well, I'm not the captain, so,
Yep.
We could, spend that 2 momentum to cause a malfunction, hopefully cause a plot point malfunction in their shields to get through it.
Well, they're going to have to lower their shields to complete the docking operation.
Yeah.
Oh, I will remind you. Let's see. You do have the advantage in play with the disruptor targeting that could, or the information that
Yep.
Will fed you guys. So
Yeah.
this will, since nobody else is there, Flying Circus is taking over. I'm just rolling a basic house soldier attack. So
On what?
to hit the ship, to hit the dead ringer with weapons. I presume that we were going to make that
okay.
attack. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we want to spend one of our momentum to give him a 3rd die? We're at 4 right now, even though it looks like 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Go
should
for it.
clarify. Yeah. It should have been. All right. So it's back up to 4. Expending 1 point will give them a 3rd die, so that's 3 momentum as well.
Are we going to target their disruptor systems?
That's what I was
Yeah,
presuming.
I would say try to target that.
Alrighty.
Because
What's the difficulty?
Difficulty is 3 to hit.
Okay, not terrible.
All right. And
Okay, maybe terrible.
This must be a
That is 2 successes. The ship may assist with weapons plus security.
Come on, ship, don't let us down.
Ooh!
Oh
The ship
no!
let us down.
Go down.
The
Oh,
ship give
God
it, and the
damn
ship
it! We've
take
got
it
every
away.
advantage.
Okay, so I have to ask first. The ship has rolled a complication. Would you prefer to accept a narrative complication? Would you prefer to ignore the complication and grant the GM 2 points of threat? Or would you prefer to buy it off with 2 points of momentum?
Just give the man some threat.
Alright, you already have a fucking pile. And everyone's sad, so I'll pay off the threat.
We're all very sad here.
As
Right.
much as narrative would have been funny.
To confirm, we are giving me threat.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
greedy so and so.
You know what? You know what, guys? You know what?
Yes, he's on second base.
I'll try to cut down that amount of threat here.
Oh no.
You had to taunt him, didn't you? You had to taunt the DM.
I will do my best to cut down on threat. Okay, so second order of business. You have you did not succeed completely to hit the disruptors. Would you like to succeed at cost?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Okay. Well, first thing, I am going to take 2 of those points of threat, just to make sure that their shields were in fact up, just so that's like an adverse trait. I will ask for the Jan to go ahead and roll damage on that, or whoever has the Jan sheet open to roll damage for those disruptors.
Alright.
Good heavens! And a point of momentum to reroll those 5 blank dice, please.
Yes, that is that is 2 and an effect. So that's 3 points plus 1 for vicious for a total of 4 stress to their shields, which suffice to say is not enough to do what you want. But a point of momentum expended, bringing you back down to 2 points, will allow you to reroll 5 of those challenge dice.
God damn. Damn.
So
This
that
is not a good rescue. Okay.
let's see. Do you want to take that, or that does give you 2 more points for a total of 6? We'll remind you they resist 3 points of stress, but because of their scale.
If we spend another point of momentum, we can give it piercing 1, which would give them. It would take it down to. Well, no, spending a point of momentum reduces resistance by 2, right?
Correct.
1 point of momentum per 2. So that would be enough to give them a breach. But that would take us down to 1 momentum.
We have to spend it anyway.
Yep.
Alright.
So yeah, I guess that's what we're doing.
All right. So with that taken into account, allow me to move some things around and even include. I'm even going to include some of the budget in today's episode. With the set of with those rolls there, the disruptors fire out, rattling off one after the other. Not as fast as I wanted, but you get the idea. Colliding
It's
with
about as fast as our ship would have shot, so it's
Yep.
fair.
About as well as it's doing right now. So disruptors collide with the ventral disruptor on the dead ringer, and with once your barrage ceases, you see on the bridge basically that there is a pulsing blue sort of static that overtakes the bird of prey as it begins to spin, having lost altitude control seemingly. Traven, as near as you can tell, there are power fluctuations, and the shields, which appeared to have been up, have now fallen completely. There is, however, one additional complication from that, and I'm going to put that in as the succeeding at cost here. The bird of prey seems to be, because of apparent fluctuations in their power grid, it is inputting all manner of strange, interference that will make transport through most of the ship difficult. It looks as though the ventral section is, the main sort of corridor is an option, so you can still begin transport of the gas canisters. You can definitely get those through.
Then yeah, let's.
Yep. So this basically will, thankfully, with the nullification thing that you have, this means that, or rather the triangulation advantage you set up, you won't suffer an increase in difficulty from this, but it does basically cancel that out. So
Yeah, it still did its job.
Yep. If somebody would like to roll for tOverlandGamer, and while we're at it, just because the GM inserted it, give her a transporter advantage, or rather focus, they can roll for her, and we can get those canisters beamed on at a difficulty 3 control engineering roll. Or she can assist and Vopri can lead here. By the way, I figure the focus would be good.
Yeah. So she's going to do it, but I guess Vopri will help.
Yep. The ship will also help. Vopri does not add anything to this.
We're just doing great this game.
Yeah, we are.
My heavens.
We are. Holy crap.
For grand finale, we don't say vote. Whoa.
Sorry, we tried. Whoa.
Did you try? Goddamn.
Yeah.
The dice just were not working.
I'll take care of tOverlandGamer
We
here.
work in a labor camp.
Okay.
Oh God, thank you.
Well, the captain's daughter is quite good at what she does. She is far from a nepo baby, I can assure you that much. Or rather, the Lord's daughter in this case. She is able to execute the cargo transport. Caligo, if you want to grab the odd 4, that's engineering plus structure.
Right.
So you technically... Yep, you have 3 successes on the board. With one, anything more will net you momentum at this point.
Of course not.
Well,
Par for the fourth.
It wasn't a complication, okay?
It wasn't a complication this time.
It was
How
close.
much threat do we give the GM to make it a complication?
No.
Oh my god.
The GM could spend threat to make it a complication.
Yeah, I couldn't. I can't even get that within a complication range. So you're all good there. But yes, with that, the canisters beam on, and hello, EKG the Kobold. The things are going. The raid. The crew is not covering themselves in glory here with their surprise rescue attempt.
The dice gods hate us.
However, tOverlandGamer is able to cut through enough of the interference, and you hear back from her over the open ship-wide comm line. Canisters away! The gas should be dispensing shortly.
Good.
Yep. Within the couple moments, reports are also coming in over the audio, or rather from the bridge as well, to where you hear Nalgri narrating from his post. Hard to tell exactly, bossman, what's going on over there, but that disruptor shot seems pretty well on point. The power readings are all in flux, and they're spinning out. Still in transport range, but doesn't look like they're gonna be able to help too much.
Captain, might I recommend you fire again? We need those shields down all the way.
Oh, shields are down now.
Oh,
They actually look like they collapse with the first shot. Power failure,
right,
I guess.
Fire again. If that's what Tabak wants us to do, we're gonna do that. Let's fire again.
power systems. Aiming at power systems.
Yes.
Oh,
Aiming at power systems.
So you want to blow the engines and the thing that causes ships to blow up and also can risk structure as well. Roger that.
We're the worst.
Maybe don't kill Woe, you guys. You just got here. Maybe don't kill her.
Hey, bloodthirsty
No.
for a rescue mission.
I'm gonna
Sacrifice.
wait until everybody's over on that ship, then fire, and then it's an instant promotion for everybody that's left.
Oh my god.
Well,
That's true.
That makes sense.
No, that's exactly what I expect from fake
Oh,
fucking
let's can we go? Well, Klingons don't have stun settings, but can we go for further disabling their engines?
You might be able to do that. It is, once again, it's a difficulty. It is a difficulty 3 roll, but by all accounts, the crew seems to be incapacitated with the gas canisters spreading through the ship. So it's like they're all their power systems are already locked down. Yeah.
What the GM is telling us is what we're doing is overkill. So,
As in, you might accidentally kill Woe as well.
right. So,
Hemok,
and on that note,
why don't we get Hemok to get us as close as we can to the ship to
begin transport.
Yeah.
We are already in close range, sir. So transport is easy.
Get
easy
us closer.
Moves to contact range. I guess it's ramming speed today, everyone.
Today is a good day to fly. All right.
I want to be scratching paint.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, we could just board them, and we are smaller than them, and we could just attach to them and board them if we really wanted to.
All right.
I'm not that good
pirate.
pilot, sir.
Cat, whatever your name is, beam us onto the bridge.
I'm not sure that's a good idea. There's pretty heavy interference with right there, my lord. I might be able to put you on the ventral section there.
As close to the bridge as you can get us.
All right, very well.
And get the other teams ready to go. We should have enough people for 2 more beam overs.
I'll call in the flying circus, I guess. All right. So let's see. With that, one final roll here. Let's see how this goes, everybody.
I'm so sad.
Oh boy, DuPont is not good at control.
No, he's not.
Oh my lord.
Okay.
And yet, I do think I've got that right. Although, oh no, I've had this backwards. I've put you rather further back. And so the transporters. Let me actually copy you guys over so that we can.
What was the difficulty of his roll?
The difficulty of his roll was 3, beaming you from a pad to not a pad. So you do earn back 1 point of momentum.
And was it assisted by the ship?
It actually should be. That is a good catch. That would be structure. plus engineering.
All right.
This does
Let's go,
expend 1 more point of power.
Yeah!
All right. So
You.
that is 2 points of momentum that you gain. All right.
Good day, good day.
So that should bring you guys up to a total of 3 right now. And this should also bring all of you over to the... It should bring you guys over to the ship. So let's try and do that, why don't we? Alright. Sorry guys, just waiting on roll 20 to catch up here. Alright. So the dull or rather, a bright yellow-orange curtain overtakes you as the transporter energy field surrounds all of you. And you dematerialize from the platform and find yourselves, if roll 20 will be so kind. All right. You find yourselves now on board a ship with a very similar layout, but much darker lighting scheme. Your rebreathers have kicked on at this point, which is good because based on the collapsed Nausicaan immediately behind you, Krisick, it seems as though the gas canisters have done their work and have incapacitated them.
Remember what I said. Kill them all.
Who would like to deliver the killing blow to this unconscious person?
Okay, nobody's stepping up. I just walk over and stab him.
I take a point of threat, and he is dead.
Let Hamak do it from here on out.
Hamak better step up.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
Does anybody else have a floating giant dar?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't just me. I'm scared now. There's going to be an even bigger version of Dar on this ship.
Not canon.
We went from Raldar to Dar. This one's just going to be R.
Actually am quite smart.
Okay.
SMRT.
Okay. Okay.
Such is the power of friendship.
Yes. Friends good, but dead enemies are better.
Oh my god, calm down, Dar.
No! Yep. All right, so with the
They were keeping her. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that first dispatch, the Nausicaan, the first Nausicaan goes down, and you are now, you are definitively alone in this corridor at the very least.
They were keeping her in a storage facility. I'm not familiar with the layout of a ship of this class, but that is where she was at.
Betty, can you hear us?
I'm going to rule no. She's not responding in the position that you're at. With power fluctuations being what they are, Taybach, if she's mucking around with the sensors or something else, she might not be able to get a good read on you, though.
All right. Are there other doors in this corridor?
There are others around you, yes.
All right. Well, we're just going to end up having to go room by room.
Yep.
Hopefully
And murder
somebody brought a
everybody we
scanner.
find.
I mean,
The doctor would obviously
he
have
has a medical scan. He has his medical scanner.
But, we already paid for the guns and the grenades, and I would have assumed that the scanners were included in that.
They are free, so yes.
Yes.
So, yes.
Using
Using the scanners.
I'll take initiative here. Let's see. Hey, it's in a storage place. You mean like a closet?
I believe so.
It's like that room where I'm picking up a Kazinti life sign?
Probably. And Kresik just starts going to the door.
Yep. And
I'll follow.
Yep, because the GM did not have this nearly so well thought out. It is not integrated into the place all nicely. Well, no,
Because gotta take a deep breath, straighten up, and kick down that door.
In true woe fashion.
Yep, doctor, the arthritis in your joints or whatever the equivalent is not so.
My bad leg.
Yeah, you kick with your bad leg, and it is it's not pleasant. It protests greatly. However, Hamok walking alongside just pushes the door to the button to open the door. At which point you step in and you find unconscious, chained, and signs of dried blood. But sure enough, you see a familiar Kazinti before you.
Check her over, Kresik, please.
Yep, Kresik's immediately getting over there and is doing a scan, also fitting a mask over her.
Okay. She has she's likely taken quite a bit of the gas in at this point, so the stimulant she requested will be very helpful.
Oh yeah, he's got that.
Yep.
He is going to get out his 6-shooter gun and give her a stimulant. He is going to use his trait, Stimulant Shot, which is when you perform a first aid task on an injured ally, you may get them back to fighting right away without spending momentum. In addition, the ally recovers stress equal to twice your medicine rating.
Oh.
Okay, well, that is going to be enough between the stimulant and the rebreather. That is going to be enough from... God. Spectacular. Thank you there, Caligo. Well, your eyes open, and before you see... Well, you see some familiar faces, and others you don't recognize. But the first looming over you would be the doctors.
Oh, Auntie Em, I had a terrible dream. And you were in it. And she looks up. And you, and I don't know you. And you. And she sits up fully. And she looks at Kresik and reaches out and touches his face. Are you real?
As far as I know.
Am I real?
You better be.
She looks at the captain and she smiles big. I think I have a concussion.
You probably have a lot worse.
Yeah,
Kresik,
but
get her back to the ship. We we have business to finish.
No. I'm not going back to the ship. And she gags a little bit. They're still here. They're still here.
Who are?
I've got to end this.
Yes, we're going to kill everybody else on board this ship.
You're not killing them without me. She stands a little bit wobbly.
As you wish. And I hand her my disruptor.
She smiles. To the bridge then, Captain.
And kill everybody we see along the way. And I will tell you what I told the rest of the crew. Well, none of these people deserve an honorable death.
I don't think they know the meaning of honorable. That I find that quite fitting.
They're also going to die.
Well, if there are any that you would rather I keep alive, just say the word.
There is no good thing here.
That's not what I meant.
That's answer enough. With that, she walks forward, wobbly, a little bit like she might throw up, but she continues forward.
Yep. So, yeah. Hammock, check all the rooms in this corridor. Kill everything.
I will head to their medical and scientific lab, see what I can gather of what their work entailed.
I don't know. Work seems to be an interesting euphemism, but go for it anyway.
Sounds like you might need someone who can crack a computer core.
I know how this ship runs.
What in the... Something just happened. I believe... I just hit a follower goal. Hello, Richest Michael. Welcome on board. Oh, goody. A bot. Let's destroy them.
Aww.
No, leave no bots alive.
Yeah.
Kill them all.
Kill them all.
Was that a lethal shot, Mr. GM?
We don't get
Yes.
Oh my god.
The GM is very much a master warrior or whatever the talent is. I kill so many.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. So, as I gather, everyone but Hammock and Kresic are proceeding to the lab. Is that right? Bridge, rather.
Bridge, right.
Okay. So.
And Hammock has his instructions to kill every single person he finds unconscious.
Yep. He will start, as he goes down, he will enter a closet and find a supplemental part of the galley, and he will start vaporizing gach barrels.
That's beautiful.
Okay.
I think I made him too stupid.
No such thing.
He is a perfect boy. How dare. The remaining 5 of you find your way through the corridors. Well, it's
real quick, Mr. GM.
Yeah.
I do signal the ship to send the next waves of people through and just kill anybody, not us.
Okay. So they will start beaming in. The Yan, I think, now is... Well, I guess that would mean pretty much the remainder of the flying circus is aboard. And one or two of them might even follow you up. So
cool.
We'll set things off as they're trying to pry their way through doors at this point because as you unfortunately discover, some of the ship systems apparently being down mean that lifts and things are not so easily workable. Nonetheless, you are able to press your own way through and enter into the bridge. Woe, for your part, it's a strange experience to have been limited for so long, and yet to find yourself treading such familiar ground on this old ship. Making your way through the corridor and finally reaching the command center, you find that it seems as though a handful of crew are about. Not depicted here would be that there are a couple of Nausicaans draped over consoles. I'd say a couple other unidentified aliens near the helm. One Suliban draped over the sort of sensors and operations console, which I'm wondering if this might not be visible to everyone for some reason. It seems to have...
I can't see it.
It is not.
Well,
There it is.
That's our bridge.
Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, it's not your bridge. It's dark.
Yeah.
See
Yeah.
It's bluer.
Yeah.
Much bluer. Yeah.
The mirror.
Yeah. Oh wait, here. Let me fix this here. This will solidify things on that end. If I can only wait, I know why. That's no. It should be. Oh, I see what it is. Sorry, I was still... Apparently, the fog of war is on this for some reason. But here, now it's backwards, so it's definitely...
Oh, Lord.
Now it's definitely not your bridge.
There
Definitely
for
not
sure.
us.
It doesn't even look like our turtle state bridges.
Disgusting.
Okay. And she steps through and breathes deep, just on the border of hyperventilating, but holds out a hand to signal for no one else to move as she walks through. She walks across the room, and she looks down at Fel, who is unconscious in the chair. And she looks so sad. And she pushes him over and watches as he falls to the floor and sits down next to him. Do you remember when we were being... And she swallows and grimaces, but doesn't finish the sentence. And they kept putting you in that tank. And they kept you in that tank over and over. And every time you drowned, they brought you back. And then they would throw you in my cell. And you would be so weak you couldn't move. And that was the only time you were ever vulnerable. Is when you were in my arms, half drowned, and so small. She looks up, and there's audible tears in her eyes. She punches a button. Hear me, crew of the Dead Ringer. Whoever you very well may be, conscious or no. You have bloodied me. You have drowned me. For you have not beat me. I will go and show you the exact same mercy you have shown me. And with that, at the end of this, she punches a few buttons and turns around and looks at the crew of the On. Thank you for coming for me. Fire on the yawn.
Ooh.
The two, before you, Tabak, Raldar, Zional, Dar, the curtain of yellow-orange light takes you, and you find yourselves all back on the bridge. Azek, you find yourself surprised to see them. As all of that's happening, Nogri says, Bossman, bird of prey coming around. Thrusters seem to kick on.
Shields up.
And, well, give me control plus security.
Whoa, what are you doing?
Let me find my control suite. You cannot hear anything, and by that I mean I cannot hear anything because I am not opening hailing frequencies. Son of a biscuit.
Yeah.
Alright, can I use a value? I'm
Go.
one of those bastards.
Go right ahead.
Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and you are the monster that others make you.
Very good.
Do I re-roll or does that just do it?
You do re-roll.
Alright.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Well, that's 2 successes with help from the ship, so that is enough for... wait a minute. Let's see. I think I'm going to pay some threat here to succeed at cost, just to make sure that this blast lands here. So with that, Tabak, I will give you, you're able to call out for shields to be raised, and just say that since all of the flying circus had been beamed over previously, although the one that was on the bridge with you seems to be missing, or like, it doesn't seem that he appeared in the alongside you on the bridge here. You only have just enough time to raise shields as the disruptor cannons lance out and do entirely too little damage because this is a scale 3 ship, damn it. Let's try that again.
Did they blow up their weapons?
I thought their weapon systems were all offline. Yeah.
You did think that, and you did listen very carefully to what was shown to you when the doctor did listen to what Fell and others said during that moment. Okay, there we go. That's a proper roll.
That is not a proper roll, actually.
That is
That
blows us up.
Yeah, we're done.
so.
Well, that was a good campaign. Thanks.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Let's see. Just 12. That is 14 points of stress. So I believe that is enough to collapse shields. Would that be correct?
Yeah.
Because we have what? What's our resistance? 3?
We have resistance 2.
Resistance 2, so that's 12.
And we have 10 shields.
Okay.
We do have a blade of armor.
The ablative armor adds on to, that should actually add 2 points of resistance to that. So
Yeah, so our resistance is 4 then.
Okay.
yeah.
We have 4
So
resistance.
So it takes down our shield still.
yes, and inflicts 2 points of damage as disruptor bolts fly back from the... Disruptor bolts begin to lance out from the bird of prey as the ventral array, not so damaged as you were led to believe, gives a belated reply to the yawn, raking across the both fore and aft sections, hitting the forward sections of the near the disruptor cannons, or near enough the power implements to short the systems a bit, while also hitting along the one of the wing struts and the warp engine. Explosions rock the ship as you are all cast about. Let's see, for a scale 2 ship, in addition to an impact, that should actually be enough to damage systems to where they will be momentarily knocked out. I'm checking right now. Okay, yeah. For damaged engines, that system has been significantly damaged. All tasks that involve or are assisted by the ship's engines increase by 2 until repaired. The ship will also lose 1 power at the end of every round until it is repaired. Difficulty to do so is 3. Likewise, for the ship's engines, or rather weapons, that will mean attacks increase by 2 until they are repaired, with a similar difficulty of 3. So effectively, combine that with the fact they're impacted, they momentarily can't be used until they're restored.
All right.
But yes, so basically, setting the scene back on the bridge, raising the shields probably did just enough to save you from being utterly destroyed as the disruptors.
Can I use Zional's constantly prepared trait to ignore one of those breaches?
I will let you choose one of them.
Which one do we want, guys?
We got what? Weapons down and engines broken?
Weapons and engines.
Engines.
All right. So Zional has been prepping because they've been in they're working in a nebula. He's added a few additional dampening systems to the engines so that they're able to better and more efficiently disperse power. He's basically disassembled bits of the phase pulse cannons that they had and used their power conversion systems to strengthen engines for potential power loss due to interference.
You built a buffer for the systems.
Yes.
So, with that little bit of tweaking, you find yourself still able to run, but scarcely able to fight. You are all tossed about the ship as woes. The dead ringer's devastating attack has still left you scarcely able to continue.
Get myself off the deck. And, I mean, I know how to fly the ship, just not real great at it. And basically just make us go away from here as fast as we possibly can.
Yes, Bossman, but also, he just sets it off to return, or like adjusting his course. But let's see.
Yeah, I mean, he starts stuttering, and I'm just staring at him.
Am I allowed to
doing my
say
best
something?
impression of a Gowron stare?
Oh, what were you saying there, Cheesy?
I was wondering if I could also cut in for just a second.
Yep.
Captain, what about the doctor?
If he's is he not on board?
He didn't come with you.
We don't have a choice. We can't fight that thing. She's turned on us.
Okay. They are pursuing. I'll try to lose them.
Drop a couple of photon torpedoes behind us directly. Don't shoot them, just drop them. They're still moving at sublight because we can't go to warp. So maybe they'll run into them if they don't notice them.
Okay. So
Do we have any momentum left?
There's a few points of momentum left. I'll say if you want to try to drop some torpedoes, then you can do that. You can just create the advantage of basically a torpedo minefield that will prevent them from, give you distance, basically. It will...
Yeah, basically.
Okay. Want that to just be your turn?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anything else that the Dead Ringer is going to be doing here? Or any orders that you want to give from the bridge?
None of you hear it, but whoa, word to transport room. Lock on, please.
Keg, the order comes down, and give me one more control plus engineering roll. That is almost enough. Let's see if the dead ringer assists. That is enough. Down in the, let's see, so... Amidst the varied points of damage, aboard the Jan, as the bird of prey slows, but both vessels remain in, but the vessels remain still close enough. Amidst the particular sets of damage in the cargo bay, tIn has helped Vopry up. I appreciate your. We don't know what went wrong. We had better get out of here, and we must get back to the bridge. They will need our help, and. No.
I'd like to hail the Jan.
Back upon the bridge, Traven, you see that the comms line is opened.
We're getting comms, sir.
Tabak, you want to take this, or you
Put
want
it
me
on
to take
screen.
On
Yeah,
screen.
Woe is sitting cross-legged with Vopry between her legs, and she's absent-mindedly stroking his hair like you would a cat. Or his head. There's not really much hair there.
He has no hair at all.
He has no hair at all. So she's just absently-mindedly running her claws back and forth over his head. Greetings and salutations, Jan.
Why?
I don't believe I asked questions. I don't believe you have the right to ask me questions. I am simply informing you to stay in your place. Do not seek out further contact. Do not interfere with Kzinti matters. Do not leave your little pitiful planet. Stay home. Pet your cats. I don't think I need any of you anymore. But I think it would be far, far too kind to let you go to the Great Halls of Gretel. I insult all of you today. If you're worth
came
anything...
for you. We searched for you.
And you came too late! She straightens herself. Do not come into this space again. You have been warned. And with that, she nods to the side and the communication cuts off.
Find out who's missing.
You were
Now!
Scanning, sir.
And thus, running in as Traven runs the scans to view the whom may have been lost and who remains. The Jan is forced off at escaping at impulse power. With the torpedo obstacles, the Deadbringer does not pursue, although you suspect Tabak that there's reason perhaps beyond that for Woe to no longer give chase. In this instance, she has achieved a victory complete. One leaving you without any recourse, and worse yet, without even doing you the honor of the kill. Aboard the Dead Ringer, the downed crew begin to rise as you tap the requisite commands and stimulant is administered into the air.
She looks to Phil. Did I do okay? Yes. You did.
Hmm?
Thank you. I tried. Next time, he examines Vopri. Next time, bring us a bigger lunch. This morsel does not look to have much nutritional value.
Shit.
Okay. I just hope there's not another next time. There is always a next time. We must prepare. Klingons are stubborn. It is one of their greatest weaknesses, and we shall exploit it together. And with that, he places a paw on her shoulder, and his nails dig in ever so slightly.
And thus the two ships go on their way. The battle concluded for this day, but fate perhaps not yet sealed. That will be the hope for another day and another season of Star Trek Adventures Broken Sword. And that is where we leave you off for this season. So I hope that you folks have enjoyed following our adventures, and that when we return, that you will enjoy following us back again. Until then, I advise you to keep your eyes open for notifications and for information on new seasons to come and new series yet to come. Until then, this is where we leave you.